Again, good morning. This is John Edward Miranda, your instructor for IT 01. Last time we have discussed chapter 3, which is computer hardware. So, moving forward, we are now going to discuss chapter 4, and this is the social impact of ICT in the society. Okay, so let's start. So, as you can see here, there are only three different things that we will be covering for this particular chapter. We have advantages of ICT, negative impact, and social business. Okay, so let's start with the advantages. So, for the advantages, we only have five things to consider. We have better communication, marketing strategy, or marketing advertisements, travel industry, teaching and learning process, and data manipulation. Okay, so when we talk about better communication, this is just basically instant replies. Okay, so if you think about the days prior to us living in the ID era, we always communicate by writing a letter. Okay, so for us to be able to communicate before, if it's long distance, like let's say you were communicating someone from abroad, like let's say your parents went abroad and you stayed here in the Philippines. So for you to be able to communicate and get in touch with each other, you're going to write a letter. There are many different processes that you have to undergo before the other person receives your letter. So you're going to write it, you're going to send it to the post, um, and then it will be sent to your loved one. Probably maybe a day, or no, couple of days. But I think the maximum is 5 days, 5 business days. And then it will be read by your loved ones at that certain time frame. Okay, so for them to be able to know what you were thinking about, what you were doing, what you did, what are your achievements, your updates, it would take them days for them to be able to um, know that just by sending the letter. But right now, since we're living in the ID era, so there's already instant replies, like in real time, even if that person is living abroad. So if you send a message, so long as that person is online as well, you will get an instant reply within seconds. So that is a form of a better communication. And that's not just even on replies or messages. We can also FaceTime them. So even if it's night there and even if it's day here, even if your time zones are very different, you get to FaceTime each other and see each other, even if you guys are in a long distance situation or setup. Okay, so that's better communication. Marketing advertisements. So there is already instant reach for this. Now imagine the problems that you were going to undergo if you wanted to have your own business. Okay, prior to us living in the ID era. So you will actually establish your business, and for you to be able to create a marketing advertisement for your business, you need to communicate with many telecommunication companies for you to be able to get an airing or a slot of airing um, in a particular show. Or you're going to have them placed on a billboard or have them placed on advertisement section on a newspaper or in a magazine. So those are the travels that we are our entrepreneurs are experiencing before prior to us living in the ID era. But right now, marketing advertisement has already an instant reach. Okay, so all you have to do is to actually pay a certain amount on a social media platform, like let's say Facebook. You wanted to actually put up an advertisement there. So all you have to do is to pay a certain amount, and then there will be a radius that you are going to select. So let's say from your location vantage point, you will select like 500-kilometer radius from your location. So from that radius, all of the people who are living in that area will be able to see your advertisement. You would be able to reach many different people, and you would be able to let them know that you are actually advertising something in your end. Okay, so that's already instant reach for the advertisements industry. We also have your travel industry. So way back, prior to us living in the ID era, since we don't have instant bookings, All we have to do is to book a flight, go there at the place that we wanted to go to, and then we actually locate for a place for us to be able to stay. Now the problem here is if the hotels are already fully booked, then you don't have any other place to stay, right? Or you have to set up location until such time that you find one for you to be able to rest. But right now, since the travel industry has instant bookings, you can already see the itinerary of the things that you are going to do during your vacation. So aside from that, there's already an accommodation with inclusions like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There are also different itineraries where you can actually see what you're going to be doing or the activities that you're going to be doing for the length of your stay. And that made the travel industry a lot better. So you can actually get what's your money's worth right now for the travel industry. And of course, teaching and learning process. So we have the online modality, and that's been possible because of ICT devices like your computers or mobile phones. So we are practicing that actually here. So instead of you guys actually doing the face-to-face classes, you are actually doing the online classes, and you are still learning. There is still teaching and then learning process in this, even if you are not inside a classroom. So there is still access and education. And this was actually our go-to when we had the COVID, because no one is allowed to go outside. So we actually catered to online classes, and we have shifted to this modality even right now that restrictions are already relaxed and lifted off. Data manipulation or cloud computing. So when we talk about cloud computing, this is just basically you saving different things over the internet. Okay. So right now, storage devices like your flash drives, your CDs, your DVDs, your floppy disk, those are already obsolete, and not a lot of people are actually using them now, especially now, because we already have Google Drive, and Google Drive is an example of a data manipulation cloud computing software. You can actually save things in there, and you get to access them so long as you are connected over the internet, and that's called data manipulation. Okay, you can download them, you can upload, you can actually edit files over the internet through cloud computing. Okay, and of course, those are the positive uh, or advantages. We also have the negative impacts of ICT. We have isolation, depression, eye strain, poor posture, sleep apnea, reduced physical activity. So basically, these are divided into psychological and physical impacts or negative impacts. So let's start with the psychological. We have isolation and depression. Okay, so these are some of the people that are actually cater when it comes to the internet. They are starting to have a self isolation. They don't tend to socialize with different people, especially kids now. They don't experience playing outside, going to school because due to COVID. They just practice being alone. It makes them awkward in social gathering situations like face to face classes, programs, events, parties, and so on and so forth. Because been used to being isolated, because they already have their smartphone with them connected over an internet, and they think that they can do so much alone, and that made them introvert already, and there's already a self-isolation in that. Okay, and there are also psychological disturbances that they are actually experiencing, one of which is depression and anxiety. So some of them are actually being depressed. um, Maybe some of them are not getting enough likes, or maybe they are a victim of the cancel culture. So there are many different things that we need to consider, because not everything that we see is true, because sometimes people who are depressed are actually very good at masking their own emotions if they are around people. So they can smile, they can laugh, they can interact with you in such a normal manner, but deep inside, their depression is eating them alive, and it only triggers them once they're already alone, and that's considered to be psychological disturbances. And there are many different negative impacts for this. They are suicidal. They can commit suicide at a certain time, without even thinking, they can commit that. And it's really very alarming, because a lot of people have this racing um raising population of people who have mental health issues. So it's really good for us to detox on social media once in a while, even if it's just once a week. We get off our social media platforms and we do the things that we do on the real world, like read books, paint, laugh, sing, dance, um, take a bath in the rain, play with mud, or some other things that are actually going to divert you over social networks or social media applications or just the internet per se. We also have eye strain. So, yeah, this is actually correct. Because if you are using applications or smart devices, there is eye strain because we blink less. Because if you keep on staring at a certain part of the monitor, this can actually cause lack of moisture on your eyes. And the reason why we are actually blinking is that so that we can maintain the moisture on our eyes so that it won't hurt in the long run. And if we are actually less blinking, that means that we are actually exposed to radiation as well. And it can cause many different eye problems like dry eyes, sore eyes, and many other um, ophthalmological diseases or infections. Okay, there are also poor posture or back arthritis. This is already a physical attribute for the negative impact. Some of which I know are gamers because they can actually sit in a chair for straight 24 hours or even more than that, and it makes their back arc a bit. So if your posture is no longer straight, it's more of an arc posture already. Some of them are very skinny as well. Some of them are tall, but their shoulders are actually arched like this way, and that's considered to be a poor posture. Okay, and those are negative impacts of you spending your time most of your time over ICT devices. Sleep disorder or insomnia, this is very common. Some of them are actually not being able to sleep because they're actually awake during at night. They get to sleep like around 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. And then they're up again at 7 or 8. So that's already considered to be a sleeping disorder or insomnia. There is also reduced physical activity, which is correct, right? Because all they do is to sit there, lie in bed, do whatever it is that they're doing on their smartphone. They don't get enough exercise. They don't walk. They don't jump. They don't run. They don't even perform sports anymore. It's just they're doing it online. Like they're playing basketball online. They're playing golf online. Playing bowling online. Everything has been online now, and there's already a reduced physical activity for that, and it's not healthy for the body. Okay, so those are the negative impacts. We also have ICT, a social business. We have affordability, scalability, and community. So if you're going to start a business over the internet, affordability is the main thing that you can actually count on with, because you won't get to spend many money for this. It's not costly. Unlike if you're going to establish a physical business, you are going to find a location, you're going to secure your permits, barangay clearance, mayor's permit, DTI permit, sanitary permit, and so on and so forth. And you get to hire employees as well. And you get to construct your physical store, right? So it will cost you an obscene amount of money for you to start a business. But if you're going to start a business on social media, like let's say live selling, all you need to do is to buy your products, start selling online. You won't even need to pay rent for it. You won't even need to pay permits because everything is already performed online. And there are a lot of people who are actually making a lot of money by just doing selling online. And that's already an example of affordability. Scalability. So scalability here is infrastructure allows you to connect instantaneously with millions of people. So if you are going to establish your business online, um, it's you're not just catering with your local community. you're actually catering whoever finds your business. Like let's say um, some of the people are actually watching you. Maybe they're from a different country, like let's say Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Japan, and they wanted to buy your product. So that's already an example of a scalability because there is already a scaling of target markets. And it's not just in Philippines anymore. So you also have clients outside the Philippines. And that's already a scalability for your business. And it grows instantaneously with different people. And you get to market a lot. And by just doing that, then you can actually gain a lot of customers. Okay. And you also have community. Now, this is a common mistake for people who are actually starting their business. The first thing that you have to do is to start within your community. Okay, so start with yourself, share it with your relatives, share it with your friends until such time that your business will be established in your circle, and then you move on to your community. So let's just take Jollibee as an example. So Jollibee didn't boom in just one sleeping, right? Or they wanted to have their business and then the next morning, boom, they already have many different clients and they already have stores internationally. So it didn't happen overnight. Okay, so they started within a community. Once they already established their name in the community, and that's the time that they already advance to different places. Okay, and that's called expansion. Okay, but always and always start within your community for you to be able to empower in a direct and an engaging way. And the best marketing strategy is actually the words of mouth, where it comes from different people. They would advertise you in their own way because your product is good, because your food tastes good, your service is good. So everything is good, then that actually starts within the community as well. Okay, and that's the end. So thank you for watching this video again. We will be discussing chapter 5 next meeting. So you guys have a great one. Goodbye.
For more ICCT College's video updates, please subscribe and click the notification button.